All right, let's jump right into it, huh? This is, I titled this Grixis combo. You call it Grixis Demonic Pact, you could call it Grixis Valki, Grixis Release the Winds, whatever you want. Whatever you want to call it. The basic idea is that this card works with two of our different cards in our deck. So exile target on land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may cast it without paying its mana cost. So the basic idea is that you play Valki on turn 2, and then on turn 3, you can release the Winds Valki and cast it as Tibalt. So you can turn 3 cast Tibalt. Release the Winds also works with Demonic Pact because you can get, 2 or 3 triggers off of this and then release the Winds, the Demonic Pact, exile it, and recast it, and then you've reset it, getting more triggers out of it. Harmless Offering was a card that was printed in the most recent Historic Anthology. Target opponent gains control of a permanent you control, so you can donate a Demonic Pact to your opponent after it's already been used a couple of times. One of the things that I'm choosing to do in this deck is I've got 4 copies of Fae of Wishes here to fish up Harmless Offering, things like Abrade, Push, Negates, Counter Spells, Sweeper Effects, even a Planeswalker in key spots rather than putting a bunch of copies of Harmless Offering into my deck. This card's just not a good card. So if you're not in a spot with Demonic Pact where you're ready to donate it, you really don't want to be drawing copies of Harmless Offering. So the Fae of Wishes, while it's a more expensive version of Harmless Offering, gives us the ability to fish this up when we want it without having to actually draw a bunch of copies of it. Someone in chat said something about if you're playing this, I'd recommend replacing it with Ritualist with Languish. It kills through Linvala and Questerson. Oh, killing through Linvala seems important. I like that idea. Angels deck is no joke. I don't know. I don't know if I fully agree with that. I guess thinking on it a hot second more. Maybe I want more Shadow's Verdict. Maybe I'll do this, actually, if we're worried about Linvala. This card, the Angels deck gets big, and we don't really pressure their life total. So, like, if they have the 1/4 in, or the 2/4 in play that makes things bigger, Languish is going to miss a lot of their things. I've been really impressed with Shadow's Verdict as a card in this format. I think this is potentially the best sweeper in Historic right now. And it makes sense when you think about it, because a lot of the decks you want to be sweeping are Collected Company decks, and this hits everything that Collected Company hits. So, and remember, this, we'll have copies to fish up with Fae, so having 1 copy there is like a bunch of copies post board. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels. Yeah, the 1/4 stat line on the Fae of Wishes is not irrelevant against aggro. So, like, Fae of Wishes will just be a 2-drop in some of the aggressive matchups. It does also kill and exile Planeswalkers, is a real thing. William, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Sure. Put this in tapped. If they're playing something aggressive, I don't really want to hurt myself a bunch on turn 1. And if they're playing something that's going longer, there's value in letting them draw an extra card before I start Thoughtseizing. Good morning, Amato Sam. Alright, now I'm gonna shock and take a peek at what we have going on over here. Are we a tempo deck? Are we a control deck? Probably Arclight Phoenix, I imagine, looking at this. We just take Charter Course here. Charge their way to get a bird in the bin. Is there anything that embodies Grixis more than keeping a 2-land hand in your 26-land deck and missing your 3rd land on 3. I'm not sure that there is, chat. I'm not sure that there is anything more peak Grixis than that. Nice. Yeah, building PCs isn't bad. It's like a $2,000 Lego kit. Or however many dollars you spent on it. Well, we got Thoughtseize bugged, but at least we spiked our land. Yeah, Phoenix dodges Shadow Verdict, but I'm on 4 Angers in the main, so... Casting Nicol Bolas and still losing. I mean, to be fair, Nicol Bolas isn't that good. Nicol Bolas is frequently like 5 mana, -3, kill something, and then die. Okay, so I got the red source I wanted for Christmas. Pretty sure we just need to do this before this sparks. We're at 10, and we've done 6 of that damage to ourselves. Like to murder that one. Nice one. Should add Shadow if we're gonna hurt ourselves so much. Ooh. Piece of candy.
That.
So they showed me Spell Pierce, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use this right away. So that way I can't get pierced off the Harmless Offering next turn. How did Tybalt get flipped? We released the winds. When Valki farts, he turns into Tybalt. How do we want to board here? Do I want Angers? I guess I'm expecting them to be a Phoenix deck. I'm not sure I'm at least one of these, because we might want to be able to fish it up with Fae of Wishes. I guess Abrade doesn't kill their various Drakes. Maybe Bedevil, Push, and Thirst that all do that. Chandra kills Drake, so she sounds good. Seems fine. This is reasonable. Our deck's a base red-black deck, a very small blue splash for Fae of Wishes and Release the Wind. So not having blue mana to start is fine, especially with these two rolled up already. You don't think Demonic Pact is very good? I actually think the opposite. I've been really impressed with this card in total. It generates a lot of card advantage and it buffers your life total. So if you're like able to consistently mitigate the downside that it has, I think this card's quite fantastic. Take a peek at blue here, huh? Sweet. I wonder how much removal they left in their deck. Non-zero amount of removal, apparently. Ha! It's a scary one for later. Morning, Kingsha. Thanks for the follow. So if this is a blank, we get to Valki them next turn. That looks like a blank to me. Huh. Do I even release or do I just play Demonic Pact? I think I just Pact here, right? I think we just go ahead and kill this, so this way I can release Valki with a lot of life total. I can untapped land Chandra, paying mana like this, release Valki. Impressive start here for our deck.
Now you've done it.
I suppose there's a world where we fail to find our thing that lets us not die to this. Live on the edge a little bit. I think with that in mind, we're supposed to draw with this Chandra.
Oh, today's
okay.
My lucky day.
Easy game.
So many painful memories.
So many painful memories. And then this is going to make them discard 2 cards. They can't even have a counterspell here. put Splinter Twin on my Deceiver Exarch here real quick. Hold, please. Well, that was great. We did the thing twice, chat. It's exciting. I like it. I like it when a meme gets off to a solid start. Get a little velocity building. Deck's over, doesn't get better than that. It's true, you know. Let's keep them out of my hands here. Name a more iconic Magic the Gathering play than Thoughtseize your Thoughtseize. Yeah, Stone Rain. Do this and kill their thing here. They want a Murderous Rider, my Chandra. She's like a 1.5 for 1. I want to spend their Faceless Haven here too. They can.
Well, that was a disaster.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab Fatal Push here, I think. Cardboard Live, almost a week later, is still not updated with Historic Anthology cards. So, it's a third-party tool that I do not have access to update. Yeah, the YouTube, the deck list and the YouTube video descriptions will be updated. But unfortunately, a Cardboard Live is not. Am I playing this as a tap land? I don't think I am, right? Yeah, we talked about that on stream a bunch before, Paul. If you're capable of achieving Mythic, you'll be able to grind profit in those constructed best of 3 events, no problem. There they tend to be. They tend to be much softer than the ladder. On the top of the ladder, at least. Alright. Time to face Slaven. Grixis and dying to creature lands, chat. This is definitely a matchup where these Thoughtseizes are the first thing I reach to cut. Want just as many cards as possible to play to the board. Just gonna bring in 4 removal spells over them, I think, here very cleanly. Maybe we want a Shadow's Verdict. This does clean up their Sorins on top of everything else, which is kind of nice. Leave the second in the board to wish for on occasion. Throw an Anger up there. It's possible that like a 3-1 split of these in the main deck, so I have a Verdict and an Anger to both wish for, is correct too, just to start. That there was an instance where if we'd been playing for Fatal Push instead of a split with Bloodchief's Thirst, we wouldn't have been dead, would be nice. I have bad news for your wild cards. This deck is super reasonable. Does Tail's End to stifle our pack trigger work the way I think it does? It does not, I don't believe. I'm pretty sure once you pick which trigger is happening, it's resolving. So I believe Tail's End just delays it for a turn. It doesn't actually stop it from happening. That's my understanding of that interaction. Silver Smoke Ghoul. It's a sweet one with Sorin. This is one of our 2 combos here that this deck is able to execute, so we just go ahead and have Valki fart here. Oh, it wasn't Valki, it was Tybalt breaking wind the entire time.
Make no mistake, I'm not.
I guess they just get to kill him. Maybe that's not worthwhile. Maybe it was right to down tick him to draw a creature. I guess we drew these though. I don't know, seems pretty fine. I think we're just cycling the Canyon this turn. I took a deck I liked for this weekend and started cutting spells for lands. This channel is starting to take hold. God bless. Play more lands, people. We just exile those. Got sent home from work because coworkers threatened to quit. Why did they threaten to quit? My poor Fatal Push, chat. So, if I Valki release here and my opponent hits a land, a snow land, they can kill Valki. I think that's probably still correct, though. I get to draw 2 even if they do that.
I have caused
Oh, yeah, you definitely shouldn't be at work if that's the case. Good on your coworkers for sticking up to a shitty boss with bad policies. Maybe I'm supposed to play Faceless Haven there since I have the Abrade. I can see that. I probably should have played the tapped red source too if I was going to play a tapped land.
I drink only the fire. Our fiends thirst for life.
So blocking here doesn't really do anything because it's just going to come back. Let's start with Chandra plus draw card.
My hair is on fire. Yup, you're going down.
Show some respect.
Mayor Emmanuel, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We've got a couple of lands, chat. The Murderous Rider off the top to kill our second Valki is a little unfortunate. Really needed to get a second card, or second round of card draw for that, I think, to have a chance here. They're attacking Chandra. I'm gonna kill this. I think them spending their turn drawing a card with this is good. Good for us on average. And I assume they're gonna plus, yeah, they're gonna use Sorin to throw that at her. And they get the goal back. That's fine though. Ooh, that's a really good one. Okay, let's start here.
This'll be easy.
I think we just grab Bolas here, right? So we've got him in the board. And this gets rid of Sorin too, right? And then I think I hold this back so that way it defends Chandra and my life total from Faceless Haven. They don't have a discard spell here. Big ifs. Big ifs. Block.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
I unfortunately don't have a second threat to go get here. Yeah, it's probably right to just get a sweeper. I agree that protecting Chandra is our priority at the moment. Demonic, yeah, getting Pact of Negation could be okay too. I have enough mana at this point. I'm holding on to this land so that way I can eventually pick Fae back up.
This'll be easy.
Fae turning lands in the late game like this into actual useful spells is so good. Oh, yeah, I could have denied them a card draw. That's a good catch. That's a really, really good catch.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
This should be the end of it.
Yup, you're going down.
Chandra's ready to ulti as well here. Did you find Murderous Rider number 3? Not vampires. Get me happy with how I boarded. Run it back. Honestly, I think a big part of what people don't appreciate enough about Demonic Pact is having a Lightning Helix Plus attached to it is super good. Maybe that timeout's a little unfair. What's it called? Cardboard Live. Cardboard Live doesn't currently have Harmless Offering on it. I'll undo that. I'm gonna assume they looked at Cardboard Live and give them that one back. There's a Harmless Offering in the sideboard. It's basically the idea of the deck. It's essentially the reason we're running Fae of Wishes. But yeah, Cardboard Live still doesn't have Historic Anthology 4 cards on it. Because apparently updating a CSV file or whatever they use to track things is difficult.
Out to nothing. Your might I have sired many warriors.
Yeah, poop. Grixis and your answer's not lining up well into your opponent's threats. Name a more iconic duo. We literally won the first 2 games of this match with Harmless Offering. The first 2 games of this set. We likely would have won the game in that the previous game my opponent just conceded with Harmless Offering as well. The actual answer is I don't really blame Cardboard Live at the end of the day. Wizards of the Coast is the one who shoulders blame for things like that not working, because things like that should be first party, not third party. They shouldn't be depending on other developers to make their shit work.
Hey, over here.
Give me Zen Grief. Thank you for the tier 2 and for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It's one of the things Mythgard does really nicely. All of their client integration is first party. Yeah, Sorin plus Silver Smoke Ghoul is very strong. Getting to get talking about you know, burning people with, what's it called, getting a free lightning helix every turn is real good. I mean, I guess it was the right play last turn, so it's the right play again this turn.
I'm the best fire starter there is.
Well, the tracker died with the update because they the tracker died with the update because what's the word I'm searching for? Because of all of the extra traffic. We have not seen a veto out of our opponent, no.
We're done here.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to keep up with our opponent's card advantage here.
I have other obligations.
Yeah, there's a Faceless Haven. Why aren't you an untapped land? This was untapped. I could have fished up Anger and cast it. Yeah, we're just in here. The fact that we didn't do anything on turns 2 and 3 because our removal spells didn't line up was pretty peak Grixis experience. Maybe these fatal pushes that are in my sideboard should just be Heartless Acts. I think that's probably the case. If these had been Heartless Acts, we'd have been able to kill their 4/4 on turn 2, and then we would have been in a very good spot. We would have taken less damage. We would have had more time to stabilize. Our second Chandra likely wouldn't have died, so we would have been able to kill something else with other than Chandra. Yeah, I think the last opponent's deck's a good example of a lot of things that you want to be doing in this format. It's got good proactive game plan and also can be fairly linear. When it can also be a little bit interactive when it needs to be. Huh? They're gonna play a Tempered Steel and destroy us next turn. What's going on, Face Masker? Yeah, if you're an old modern hat like myself. Excuse me? What the fuck just happened? Chat, I'm scared. Chat. Good lord. Anger is, that's probably not enough to save us, huh? Hamza is one I haven't seen out of the new set. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less for each creature you control. Yeah, what's our best line to not die here? So we're like Valki and Fae of Wishes as blockers. We like chump here, go to 1. Man, we were so close. Like, the person I just typed out for saying we need to go to game 2, like, if this had been a land, we'd stabilize here with a land from ourselves. So, like, you know, maybe don't quit before you're actually dead. Like, as someone who's very good at identifying garbage time and people complain I concede too early often, like, conceding before this draw happened is, like, much too early. Hey, Disperse, thanks for stimulating my economy. I appreciate the sub gifts. Good morning, good morning. I think we are unfortunately dead with the extra draw here. And I mean, honestly, like, I know our opponent's deck looked sweet here, but like, keep this in mind, like, they were 1 brick away from us stabilizing with probably their best draw on the play, right? Like, yeah, their draw was pretty powerful there, but, like, that was very likely their best possible draw, and they were on the play, and they were 1 brick away from me being able to stabilize. Do I want Verdict? I definitely want the extra hard removal. Chandra's problem. Let's try this. Ibnis, thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Nah, Heartless Act is fine. Heartless Act would have fished us out of that situation last game, killing Loxodon. We're playing 2 copies of Heartless Act. Sheriff Wiggles. You just want more cards that play to the board, Kid Martian. Having discard spells in a matchup like this, especially in the mid to late game when you want to be drawing spells, is just not good. Or want to be drawing spells that impact the board is just not good. Not going to be greedy with this. I'm just going to go ahead and 2-for-1 them here against their Loxodon deck. We lost game 1, Harlequin, if you looked away. They had a very good draw and they killed us. So we'll get to kill something here with Demonic Pact. We'll get to play Valki. We'll get to play Bedevil. Huh? Heroic Intervention. Cute. That makes me want these Shadows Verdicts. I have room for those. It's probably better than Chandra, honestly, huh? Was there an Ulamog in their hand? I should have looked. Ulamog seems ambitious. I assume they're trying to ramp it out off of their green-white card. They spyglassing Tibalt? Yeah, Ulamog off of Hamza is like a textbook definition of win more, right? Like you're playing this effect so that way when you have 5 or 6 things with 1/1 counters on them, you can cast it for cheaper. Like, you should probably be winning the game when you have that many things with 1/1 counters on them, right? I go ahead and Heartless Act this. When I have 10 creatures with counters, I get to cast Ulamog for free and really win. I mean, I like the idea of their deck a lot. I just think including... I like the idea of their deck, I just think including what's it called in their deck is pretty bad deck building, Ulamog. Like the aggressive 1/1 counters seems great. We just Dragon God? Feel like I'm just Dragon Godding and trading him for a thing.
All of the multiverse will bend to my will.
Can be greedy and +2. I'm gonna do that. Could be right to just kill the Venerated Loxodon, though.
You have no weakness I cannot exploit. I have other plans.
Just get rid of that before it grows up. This is 2 turns off of doubling up. It's been good, Space. You want a Chandra? Kinda just want a Chandra here. I think we kill this, and then we shuck this in play of Fae of Wishes. Yeah, I don't know why they left a mana up. The priority passed right away, so I'm not sure why they made a 3-3 instead of a 4-4 when I have a bunch of 1-4s in my deck. We saw heroic intervention out of them last game. Elephant. Sure. Drop some bricks on these. Is Hamza an elephant too? It is. It is totally an elephant too. That's great.
This'll be easy.
And away you
Metallic Mimic's not a particularly good tribal card. Generally speaking, you want your tribal cards that are going to be pumping up your creatures to be able to pump them up after they come into play, not have to be in play before you cast them. So Metallic Mimic's not good because it has to be in play before you deploy your stuff. Is like the TLDR of why it's kind of mediocre.
share in my pain.
Yup, you're going down.
They could potentially pippity pop off with Great Henge here a little bit, but Valki's gonna get to steal that next turn, which is nice. Feels like we're stabilizing. Well, to go. Thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Man, heroic intervention protects the Great Henge too. It's rude. Start here, I suppose.
Let's play a little game.
Nice heroic intervention. Cast Languish. I don't think heroic intervention's a playable card in this format for reference. For that reason right there. There's too many Languishes and Shadows verdicts and minus other miscellaneous things that people always ask about heroic intervention. I think it's definitely a trap card. It's too narrow. It's good against like exactly blue-white control. Hyped to death. Thanks for the 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And even when it's ideal, it's only okay. I mean, they boarded it in. It's definitely a card in their sideboard. I don't think it's worth its sideboard slots. Is the TLDR. There's too many sweepers in this format that just don't care about it. Spending 2 mana to counter a removal spell usually isn't a good rate. I think especially when you have access to white like our opponent does. I think, when you have access to white, I think both Heroic Intervention and God's Willing tend to be, or, what's it called? Fight is one and God's Willing tend to be better tools. Sure, depending on if there's something aggressive here, we might be playing Fae of Wishes on 2. Yeah, Snakeskin Veil's also good. Blossoming Defense is legal too now, right? I definitely think the 1 mana tricks tend to be better. One versus 2. Holding up 1 versus 2 is a big deal. Yeah, we'll have to play green-white counters at some point. I don't have anything built right now, so definitely not today, but we'll probably get to that at some point. Alright, chat. We're here to slam bombs in the Grixis mirror. Bombs, 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 bombs.
You want to play with fire, huh? Today's my
I wish upon a star. She's dead, Jim. You got her.
me anymore.
Yeah, Jim Davis is casting for this weekend. Talked about that for literal months. Since before we even scheduled the tournament. I could honestly be right to play this until I can hold up release to protect it.
My intellect is without limits.
Got him. This is a nice card to be able to counter removal spells as well. They go to kill your thing and you just release it in response. I'm pretty sure that was the original design intention of this card, to save your things from spot removal. Like a blue protection spell / tempo card. They have a deal 3 here, or am I getting on tap with this Bolas? Alright, so the game has ended, huh?
Witness a mote of my power.
Feels like they drew a counterspell here. So I'm not just gonna jam the Valki. They did top 2 cards with this. Yeah, 4-color Druidic Firestone, sweet Seth.
You have tasted but a drop of power.
Won't help, but it amuses me. Make no mistake.
Okay, so
I have other schemes to attend to.
Oh, and then we drew this, huh?
Once again.
So I was going to cast my Valki. I was gonna cast Valki, exile Murderous Rider, and then use Nicol Bolas to kill their Tibalt, but now I don't have to do that.
Let your weak minds crumble.
It's pretty good. Definitely anybody's game here still. They peel with them finding an answer to my Tibalt. They could just peel an answer to Bolas here and then we could be out of it. Okie doke. Negate, Duress in. Anger, Abrade out. Extra Bedevil in. We leave what's it called? Bolas in the sideboard, so we have 4 copies of it to grab with Fae of Wishes here. And honestly, stuff like this, like, you know, why am I playing Bloodchief Thirst over Fatal Push? Getting to leave Bloodchief Thirst here in the Grixis mirror because it kills their Planeswalkers is a big deal, whereas if this was a Fatal Push, it would just be a blank, right? The flexibility on this card being good in these more mid-range and control matchups where Fatal Push is basically good against aggro is great. Either part, visit. So again, the basis of this deck is you release the Wind's Valki and then recast it as Tibalt. Yeah, I'm pretty low on Fatal Push in Historic and Pioneer. I think Bloodchief's Thirst has largely outclassed it. Don't mulligan in the Thoughtseize, Mirror Chat. Your hand has lands and spells, keep it. This might be a cycle with the 6th land draw. Remember watching you play Sneak Attack in paper events? It's been a hot second. Thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. I'm gonna play an untapped land here on the off chance they're a Censor deck. Feels like something in their range. They left Heartless Act and Eliminate in against me. I guess those stop me from flipping Valki quickly. Yes. Seems loose. I think I Chandra to start. Because against a counterspell deck, getting Demonic Pact going can be a little bit nerve-wracking. Uncle Pack, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Like Oven or Crocs decks. I don't even think I agree with that, Hidden Flame. Most Oven decks don't really want spot removal like Fatal Push, and most Crocs decks would rather have the ability to kick and kill Planeswalkers too. I think Fatal Push's power level is less about the ability to trivial enable Revolt and more about the fact that Planeswalkers are mainstay staples in these formats, which the upside of Bloodchief's Thirst being able to kill those is really high. The types of decks that want to play removal spells like Fatal Push and Bloodchief's Thirst tend to want more flexible answers rather than more narrow answers to stay alive. Hey, Seth, thanks for the tip. The $5 extra is because the deck is bad and you'll have to build the mana base. I think we should be all in on Vornclicks and Ugin. Vow is nice because it helps us go over the top of people. I'll send you the starting list when we're going to update. Sounds good. Would you like that played today or on a particular other day? Let me know. We could definitely do it today. Hellbot, thank you for the 27 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. I would like to start slamming bombs, chat. Bombs, bombs. We don't have a Thoughtseize in sight. We're just gonna cast high impact spells until eventually one of them resolves. Sounds good, Seth. It'll be up after this. We're gonna do probably another half hour, 45 minutes of Grixis, which could mean just this last match. Our opponent's playing blue-white control. Oh no, my basic swamp is in play. I think I'm only on one basic, right? Is that right? I feel like that's right. Is there only one basic swamp in my deck?
Let's do this. This'll be easy.
Our opponent is running very hot with Narset into search.
Meditate and prepare.
Their hand was previously very bad, and now we're in trouble. Yeah, remember when Chandra could hit Planeswalkers? Can you vow for 7 and put Sybil to play? You cannot.
Not prepared.
I'm gonna shock this in, because if Chandra hits Valki, I want to be able to cast Tibalt.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
I think we're probably dead to the Shark Typhoon's the problem. We do draw cards. We have Demonic Pact.
Hide from the world any longer.
Interesting. Okay, so I get to destroy you, hit you.
That didn't go according to plan.
When people start screaming, I know I'm on track. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Okay. Okay, so... So we kill this. We plus this for mana. Yeah, I think that's exactly correct. I think they're tapped out and we give it to them now. So we lose our hand here, but they have to get rid of Demonic Pact this turn, which they could find a Teferi, and Teferi tucks any permanent, right? Release the Winds Your Face, sure. That is strictly optimal. If they find a way to deal with Demonic Pact, we'll concede. We're not beating Double Shark Typhoon. So the problem with the wish plan that people are talking about in chat is that if my opponent decides to, If my opponent decides to target my land, my one blue source with the what's it called, I lose. I'm out of blue. They literally were making 2 sharks, and my Chandra was on 5 or whatever. The release on the Fae would have been much better though, right? Because I would have gotten to Granted twice. I could have gotten Negate plus the Harmless Offering. That was a big miss on my part, not doing this on this instead of activating it. Hey, Jin, thanks for the 49 months. Welcome back. People talking about the rate of my opponent's play here, I think you're being unreasonable. My opponent was obviously just taking time to set the stop for my upkeep. Really not a big deal. Maybe you want Thought Distortion to wish for. Yeah, probably actually. I do enjoy cards that host blue-white control.
Let's play a little game.
in mind.
Oh, so many painful memories.
We take the Dream Trawler here, right?
With thoughtfulness before action.
Oh, it's not fair. Oh, so you've seen through my disguise. Make no mistake.
Well,
I'm not nice.
Valki's good at hitting land drops. He's actually just drawn 6 lands, right? Just actual, factual, every uptick's been a land on both decks. I guess we gotta do this. It's not really optional. Think we're just passing here? Just cast Fae? Nah, I don't think so. I'm not really worried about the Narset in the short term, and the Fae could eat a counterspell. Like, I don't have any discard spells in sight, so we're gonna, like, play through these counterspells by just, like, slamming a bunch of threats. Top 2, yikes. Alright, we're not going to use the draw 2 mode until we take Narset off the table here. Oh, right. That's about to happen. Yeah, we're dead. Your point doesn't matter, Avocado, because we're not winning. The peak Twitch chat is like, Jeff, you should play the lands out of your hand so you have more lands to play later. After your opponent draws 7 cards, discards the rest of your hand. No, that's not a reason to play lands out of my hand. It's a reason to concede. You're not winning that game. Talking about players failing to recognize when we're in garbage time and when we're not. Wishy Fire, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you could send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. Yeah, and I mean, like, that's a real thing, right? Like, talking about, like, is this deck potentially good enough? You know, we made Tybalt on turn 3 that game, and it actually just wasn't good enough. Technically don't have red mana for this yet, but I really can't answer this card, so I think we gotta take it. Got it, Seth. Nice. Second Thoughtseize is lovely. I can take the visit now. Yeah, in general, that's why you want to play the lands from exile. They're right that, like, the Wheel of Fortune or whatever was coming, but, like, we're just never beating the wheel, so it's pretty irrelevant. I mean, Bant Angels could transfer over to Pioneer without Soul Sisters. I don't really know, Jared. I don't really have experience playing Pioneer. I can see that. Yeah, I mean, Prison, I was honestly surprised, Brad, that not only did they print Prison cards in general, but they printed one-sided Prison cards. Like, it'd been so long since we'd seen, like, Blood Moons and Stony Silences, and then they printed Time Raveler, Narset, and 4-mana card. Like, all in one fell swoop, and it was like, what is going on? Who made these decisions? Like, I felt like it was a very notable shift in design principles, right? Like, it felt like they knew that these type of effects were things that aren't fun and are hard to track, and then they suddenly, like, printed a bunch of them. It's a pretty good draw. And this is the problem with playing Grixis, right? Like, we Thoughtseized a couple of threats, and then opponent has a single top deck, and suddenly we can't win the game, right? I can do this, and I can kill Niv, and I have to make this play, because if I don't make this play, they're gonna get to Yori in the Niv. It feels like we're just getting bigger fished here. It feels like that's what's happened these last two games, right? Like the match before this with blue-white and this deck. Niv decks are real good. That is just objectively not anything we know. There's lots of tournaments this weekend. You think Niv decks are good, go put up some results. What I said was the Niv deck is bigger than our deck, which is definitely true. We're getting bigger fished currently. All decks are bad until proven otherwise. I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Hexaplegic Squid, I'm sure the Niv Mizzet deck's not any worse than our deck. Not saying our deck is good, but like, their deck's probably at least as playable as ours. Which is to say, maybe it's great or maybe it's unplayable. Welcome back, Wiggles. I guess we get this. I guess before I do that, I'm gonna play Chandra plus her.
now. Oh, today's my lucky day.
Nice. This maybe lets Chandra live. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know that Thought Distortion would have been good here. The opponent's deck has a lot of creatures. I think Thought Distortion's like a good, yeah, this is good against exactly blue-white. Yep. The old third Niv Mizzet in the 80 card deck. Oh, feels Grixis, man. Feels Grixis. The first one looked at 10 cards. Well, Niv doesn't draw Niv, Chef Seth. So, for purposes of finding more copies of Niv Mizzet, the 10 cards of Niv Mizzet just don't count. Yeah, I think there's a good chance that Thought Distortion it's definitely a lot less good. I'm gonna be done with this Grixis deck. This Grixis deck is bad, believe it or not. This is gonna come as a shock to many of you at home, but I'm gonna go ahead and hang up Grixis and play the deck that Seth sent in. And I feel like the game against blue-white control really highlighted the problem that a deck like this is going to have in this format, which is that, like, we literally Valkied into flip Valk. We had Valky on turn 3 on the play in the control mirror, and we plussed Valky 3 times, and it wasn't good enough. That really highlights the issue where, like, this thing that we're jumping through hoops to set up, we're playing Release the Winds in our deck. And despite playing this bad card to set up what should be something powerful, it's just not strong enough in this format in terms of the decks that are going over the top of it. So yeah, definitely. It was kind of neat. We did kill people with Harmless Offering. This is definitely the best Harmless Offering deck that I've played in the format. But I feel like you're just not good enough against things like blue-white control. Blue-white control and Sultimatum are the gatekeepers at the top end of the format. And while we didn't play against Sultai Ultimatum in this set, we did play against blue-white, and that didn't feel very reasonable for us. And because of that, I wouldn't try this again based on power level. I mean, it had sweet games. Again, like, this deck felt reasonable enough that, like, if you look at this and like all of the things that it's doing, I would bet that you could climb the mythic ladder and win more matches than you lose with it. But if someone came to me and said, Jeff, I have no play pattern preferences, I'm just looking for a deck that's good and historic, would you recommend this deck objectively because it's good? I would tell you, no, I don't expect this deck to be better than something like blue-white control. That would be my response. This deck feels like it gets bigger fished by random stuff like the Niv Mizzet deck we just conceded to in the last match, and then other more popular decks like blue-white. So if you love Grixis and you love the idea of Demonic Pacting people, yeah, this deck seems reasonable, and I think you'll win plenty of matches with it. But from a just, Jeff, is this deck just super powerful and something you'd recommend based on power level? I'd say probably no. Hey, thanks for the follows, Sirius and Sokino. Don't go anywhere. We're done with this Grixis pile.